James said to count it all joy when we fall into various trials. Means this, it's not a question of if, it's a matter of a when.
That's right. That's what we're talking about today. Coming up right now on the Clearview Today Show. You're listening to Clearview Today with Dr. Abidan Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Ryan Hill.
I'm John Galantis, and thank you for joining us here in the Clearview Today studio. We got a great episode for you guys today. Great discussion, kind of continuing a spiritual successor to our conversation on the book of Job. But before we get into any of that, I want to welcome our host, Dr. Abidan Shah, who's a PhD in New Testament textual criticism, professor at Carolina University, author, full-time pastor, and the host of today's show. Dr. Shah, welcome.
It's good to be here.
Welcome to the studio.
Amen,
Thank you.
amen. We got a great conversation today. Before we dive into it, though, I do want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors and let you guys know that this episode of Clearview Today is brought to you by Mighty Muscadine. Believe it or not, right now in America, there are over 136 million Americans who are dealing with diabetes. And so each and every single one of them are asking, I want a natural way to support healthy blood sugar levels, but I still want food that tastes good. I don't want to be eating tofu and,
Of course.
and like refried beans.
And just
actually,
leaves.
refried beans are kind of good. Yeah, leaves and salad, all that rabbit food. They want something that tastes good. Well, guess what? The muscadine grape is packed with antioxidants, polyphenols. These are very, very powerful nutrients that are going to help your body fight inflammation, support balanced glucose levels. And the best part, they call it God's grape. It's North Carolina grown, science-backed, and trusted by people across the country who want to live healthier, fuller lives.
That's right. We're grateful for our sponsors, Mighty Muscadine and others. And if you're interested in advertising your business on the Clearview Today Show, make sure you write in and let us know, 252-582-5028. Or you can send us an email at contact@clearviewtodayshow.com. Why don't you head on over to mightymuscadine.com, shop their extensive line of healthcare products, their delicious juices. And when you check out, make sure you use the promo code TODAY. That's TODAY. It'll get you a discount on your purchase and help you support your favorite radio show.
And all of that proceeds, all of the savings go directly into my pocket. Mine. Not Ryan's, not Dr. Shah's, no, I'm just joking.
That's
of course,
not the way that
it
works.
goes to the ministry that helps support our work here on the Clearview Today Show. So thank you for everybody who's supporting us. Dr. Shah, verse of the day is coming to us from James chapter 1 and verse 2. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience.
When, not if.
That's right.
Not just, just occasionally if a trial comes along or if you see one lurking, when you encounter various trials.
That's
but
right.
there's a purpose.
That's right. Now, it may seem a little odd for people because we were just talking about Job, and all of a sudden we are in the book of James.
Yeah.
So what's the connection? Well, did you know that James is the only book in the New Testament that mentions Job? And by the way, the only other book that mentions Job is Ezekiel.
Wow, I didn't realize
Only
that.
2 books in the whole Bible.
The whole Bible that
Reference
mentioned
Job.
Job.
Wow.
Nobody else talks about Job other than Ezekiel and James.
Wow.
And James chapter 5 verse 11 says, Indeed, we count them blessed who endure. You have heard of the perseverance of Job and seen the end intended by the Lord, that the Lord is very compassionate and merciful. Now that should tell us the connection there is between Job and James, or the connection that James saw with Job. And so we're going to spend some time in James side by side as we talk about the book of Job.
Yeah. It's kind of cool because you've got this idea of suffering and you see it very clearly lived out in Job, and then you hear about it in James where it's being spoken to us by James. But it's kind of interesting in that James is not telling us, just like you said, it's guaranteed that you're going to do it. But he says, blessed are those who endure. We tend to think blessed are those who don't have to deal with this kind of thing, who just do the right things, who check off the right boxes, and then God's not going to send those troubles your way.
We also think about suffering as just something to make it through. Like it's just an inconvenience we need just to get to the other side of. But every obstacle, every hurdle, every trial, every tribulation that we encounter in life, there's a purpose. God supernaturally works that together for our good and for his glory.
That's right. Well, James begins chapter 1, verse 1 with James, a bondservant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, keep in mind, he was the half-brother of Jesus.
Yeah, so that's a significant line right there.
If I was the half-brother of Jesus, I'd be dropping that in the first few words. Like,
Right.
By the way, half-brother Jesus right here, just so you know, add a little credibility.
I'd be building myself up a little bit. Yeah, I wouldn't be. I would
just
not.
establish a little street cred.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is saying he's a bondservant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ. Means I am my brother's servant. I don't know, a lot of brothers out there who would say that about their own.
I don't
You know, it's like I'm his servant.
Yeah.
But in this situation, James got to know his brother Jesus in a whole different light after the resurrection, because Jesus paid him a visit. You know, when he went and saw many who, his disciples, the 12, Peter, 500, and then he also went to James and revealed himself. And I think that may have brought about his conversion to the gospel.
Yeah.
Because previously his family, Jesus' family, did not receive him. And then James became the head of the church in Jerusalem, the mother church, from where everything went out.
Wow.
Until, I would say, 135 AD, when Jerusalem was banned to the Jewish people. They were dispersed. They fled the homeland, had to, driven out of the homeland. From that point on, Christians were no longer living in Jerusalem. They may still have been here and there, but overall not allowed. But James was the first pastor of that church.
Yeah. And what a legacy, what a turnaround for somebody who didn't at first receive, his brother as the Messiah. Like, come on, like, really?
It's
Jesus?
a complete character
Seriously?
arc from a man, James.
Right. And then he, to not only to convert to Christianity, but to be an author in the New Testament and to be the head of the church in Jerusalem. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. And he's writing, it says right here in James chapter 1, verse 1, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
Now I got a question, Dr. Shah, because I thought 10 of the tribes were gone by this point.
Right. But I mean, 10 of the tribes, of course, they were all dispersed, but at that time, at least they knew where they were.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we say those 10 tribes gone forever, we're talking about in present day.
So by that time, the 10 tribes were still
At
recognizable
least you were,
as tribes.
yes.
Okay.
You can go in certain parts, like say Afghanistan. And maybe I'm stepping too far here, but maybe worth discussing.
Sure.
In Afghanistan, you come across graves or cemeteries with Jewish. Let me back that up. Not Jewish, but Hebrew writings.
Wow.
Yeah. And some of the Pashtuns claim, they don't like that actually. They have one of the dispersed tribe genealogies.
Really?
Their names are very Hebrew.
I was under that's interesting. I was under the impression that Assyrian exile happens, and within maybe 3 or 4 generations, they're wiped out, they're gone. But even by James's time, that was like a few hundred years after,
Right.
they were still recognizable as the 12 tribes.
Oh yes. It's not like they were gone in the sense of they ceased to exist.
Right.
No, they were dispersed.
Got you.
Okay, and they never came back to the promised land because other peoples occupied it. The Samaritans to the north, and then other peoples moved into the Galilee area. So after that first exile, the northern part of Israel was occupied with all kinds of other peoples.
That's crazy, because we think, maybe we don't rank order the exiles, but I tend to think that the Babylonian exile, that's like the really, really big one.
But that was more from the south, the
Right.
southern part, Judah. That's Jerusalem being the main city they attacked, but Judah.
Right.
That's southern and Benjamin. That the southern kingdom is what we're talking about.
Right, because that's what I'm saying. Like I guess the reality is the Assyrian exile had a bigger impact, right?
Oh,
Because,
100%.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like I usually think that the Babylonian one was the big one, but it seems like the Assyrian one, the ramifications are not going to be restored until the end of time, right?
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm sort of putting this together, and it's clicking in my mind now that the Assyrian exile is the one that really, quote unquote, destroyed Israel. Or
Yeah, in
God's
a way.
people.
But see, Jesus was going to come through the line of Judah. So we put a lot more significance on Judah or the Jewish people because of the messianic lineage. Because even though those 10 tribes were important, we sort of, if you read Jacob's blessings on his sons on his deathbed, you know that Judah is going to be the one.
Yeah, there is a clear front runner
Yes.
in terms of like messianic importance.
Absolutely.
So I know this is kind of getting away from James, but all Jewish people today, or the vast majority of Jewish people today, we would say that they're from the line of Judah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
They are coming from the southern kingdom.
Got it.
They are part of the Babylonian exile, people who went, some stayed, some came back. Either way, they are the Jewish people. Now, in the Assyrian exile, many of them were also scattered into Persia. So some of those people met some of their brethren a couple hundred years later who were also exiled there. You know, Persia, Iran, modern day Iran, has had the people of Israel for centuries, 2,700 years.
You think some of them are those lost tribes?
Oh, yeah,
'Cause they're-
definitely.
'cause
They are. They claim to be.
Because they didn't. Oh, they claim it.
Yeah, but see, now in Iran, unfortunately, ever since the takeover by this Islamic regime, and you know when they exiled the Shah of Iran, and a lot of Jewish people and Israel background people, not Israeli as in Israeli citizens today, because that's different. But Israel background people, as in the dispersed, the northern 10 tribes people, they lived in Iran for thousands of years, right? 2,700 years. But it got so bad that many of them had to move.
Yeah. Wow.
Many of them had to leave.
Yeah.
And even in India, some of those lost tribes came because you find names of towns and cities and rivers which are very Hebrew.
Yeah. All this evidence of the dispersion, all this evidence of
Yes.
the Jews being scattered, or the people of Israel being
And
scattered.
as I mentioned about the Pashtuns of Afghanistan, they definitely have that background. Now, years ago, and I know we're way off the topic now.
No, it's okay.
But
I
it's
just thought of the perfect
It's
segue
still
to get
part
us
of the
back in.
12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
Yeah.
Years ago, some of the Israeli scientists and professionals went there to help them establish their DNA lineage and genome and all that stuff. And seemed like everything was going great, but all of a sudden they put a halt to it in Afghanistan and said, nope, that's it. We want you gone. And so they had to cut short all their research and pull out. I wish they had continued.
Yeah.
Who knows what they would have found?
Yeah.
I know.
And then think about the Ethiopian Jewish people. But again, they claim to be coming through Solomonic line. So that's again the tribe of Judah.
It would be really cool if you could put on like a pair of like God glasses and like see the people of today and see their ancestry. See, oh my goodness, that's actually the tribe of like
Yeah.
Manasseh.
You're
or that's
from
actually
Issachar.
Ephraim. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of funny too, because you think about what James is writing to them, right? To the 12 tribes who are scattered abroad. Count it all joy when you fall into various trials. Think about like
as you are currently experiencing.
yeah, that or like in the future, like you
Yeah.
have no clue what's even coming for you, like way down the line in 2025, the state of where your nation is, or even what it will have to go through until you get to those end times. But I think that word "when" is really our sticking point here, because he's saying it's a guarantee you will fall into trials.
Right. So whether he's talking to those 12 tribes or he's talking to us or to the Christians at the time or to us, the point is very simple. My brethren, count it all joy when, not if. In other words, trials are inevitable.
He also starts the letter off like with a solid punch. You know what I mean? There's none of this like meandering, like I hope everybody's doing well, and give my regards to so and so.
I, your brother James, write this to you, and blah 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 blah.
I've been hearing that things are going well, and I just want to give you some encouragement. Like, I think of like the email, like the devotional emails that I'll like send out to the worship team or that you'll send to the church, and it's kind of getting there. But James is like, hey, when you go through trials, just count it joy. It's like, man, that's a strong start.
Yeah, gut punch right out of the gate.
Was there like a specific thing he's referencing, or is he just saying, hey, this is what life is going to be like?
Well, I mean, by the time James is writing, a lot of these dispersed tribes are not just dispersed people; these are dispersed tribes, and among them those who had become Christians. That's those are the people he's writing to, because just the regular dispersed people would never claim to be the bondservants of Jesus Christ. Of course, bondservants of God, but Jesus Christ is more specific.
Yeah.
So these are the Christians among the dispersed tribes.
He-
And they're going through difficulties.
Yeah. This is something I just thought about, and I'm kind of presenting it as a joke, but also an actual question. He says that knowing the testing of your faith produces patience. People like myself, like I've said it many times on the show, is that I struggle with impatience. I think it's one of the core things that I don't have a lot of is patience. Do you think that means that I haven't been tested enough? And I know that's a crass way to ask that, but like, is that evidence that maybe God has more trials down the line to produce that patience?
Patience there means endurance. It means staying power.
Mm-hmm.
And when you face difficulties, the natural response is to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
To find, and when we should. I'm not saying if somebody's hands on fire that you just leave it in the fire. No, you
Right.
pull it out.
Yeah.
If you can help yourself, help yourself. Don't like unnecessarily hold the exploding Sprite can in your hand.
Just let it get all over your lap and look confused.
I wonder what I'll do about this now.
You want to tell the story of
Yeah,
the Sprite
sure.
can?
Yeah, we were in DC one time, and we were on the metro. It was early. It was kind of early-ish, like 9-10 in the morning. But I was sleepy, and I had a bottle of Sprite, and which is weird. I never drink Sprite. I have no clue why I had it, but I opened it, and it fizzed up and exploded in my lap all over my shorts. And I don't know why, but I just like looked at Dr. Shaw, and I was like,
As the Sprite is overflowing, as it's pouring out,
he was like, move the bottle. Move the bottle. I was like, huh? Oh. And I just like moved the bottle, but it was way too late. And Dr. Shaw was like, you didn't react at all. Like it exploded. And I was just like, I did the same thing one time. I don't know if Ellie will want me to tell her. I might cut this story, but I did the same thing one time when Gavin was a little baby. He spat up, but when I say spat up, I mean it was a lot. He vomited all over Ellie, all over the bed, and I was just like, huh?
What just happened?
What do we do with that?
And she got so angry. She was like, get up, get the towel. I was like, oh, yeah, I should.
I'll do that now.
It just confused me. But anyway, yes. Don't. I know what you're saying. Don't leave your stuff there. Like, I guess I'll just see what
it's
happens
okay
here.
to get out of that trial, that situation, but here I think it's more of it when you know you cannot get out of it. When it's a sickness that you cannot just shake it off, or if it's a health concern that you cannot just say, hey, I'm just going to snap out of it. Where you cannot. If it's like, like I've had, a shoulder pain, I cannot just snap my fingers and come out of it. It's not happening. I tried it. Trust me. I tried to twist and turn to make it go away. It's not going away like that easily.
Yeah.
So what do you do in those kind of situations, whether it's physical pain or financial struggle? You cannot snap and add thousands of dollars in your bank account. What if it's a relationship problems where feelings are hurt and miscommunications that happen and things got said and now you're in this place? You cannot just say, okay, end it now. You can say that if you want to. It's not ending.
Yeah.
So let patience have its perfect work. The word there for perfect also means full work. Means let it do what it needs to do.
Let it
Again.
be complete.
Yeah, again, if you're sick, go to the doctor. Get the best medical help. If relationship problems are going on, talk to somebody. Talk to a pastor, talk to a counselor, especially one who is coming from a Christian perspective. Talk to people who can give you wisdom. But don't try to wiggle your way out of it.
Yeah.
Don't try to sweep it under the rug. Don't try to pretend like there is no problem. Let it have its perfect, full work. Because in doing that, what will happen? That you may be fully, but let endurance have its full work, that you may be fully developed. God wants to grow you through this. Going back to Job for a minute, Job maintained his righteousness up to the end.
Yeah.
Even when his friends said, Job, you must be doing something wrong. That's why bad things are happening to you. Job didn't fall for that and say, let me go and check. Maybe you're right. Oh, wait, yeah, this one sacrifice I forgot. That's why I'm not being blessed. He didn't do that. He maintained his integrity. Even though Elihu, who was coming from a kind of a biblical perspective, he was saying, Job, you're too full of yourself. You're too being too self-righteous. And Job, you need to humble yourself. And Job was like, I'm not being self-righteous. I'm being exactly who I am. I did not do anything wrong. I don't understand why God is allowing this to happen to me. I didn't do anything wrong. And Elihu was fussing at him and saying, you need to calm down. You need to back up and look at yourself. You have problems. You have faults. Pride is your fault.
Yeah.
And Job said, no. What I'm saying here is, what James would say is Job hung on till the end, and in the process, he saw God. Because if he had given up and said, okay, fine, tell me what I did wrong, he would have proved the enemy right.
And that last part, or that middle part, is really the key that we miss. Because we, like you said, Ryan, we think it's like he hung on till the end, and then God got him through it.
Right.
But no, it's in the process he saw God.
Right. And he didn't say that, okay, fine, I need to humble myself and allow for some mistakes in my life because I'm not, I don't see everything. No, he said, no. And so that hanging on was more, he was hanging on to his integrity. The only place where Job got in trouble was he doubted God. He repented for doubting God. And that part we all need to do.
Yeah.
And in that repenting, he began to trust God even more.
Doesn't James say something about that, about doubting in verse 6?
Yeah, he does. I mean, I think this book goes hand in hand with the book of Job.
Yeah. It's so incredible to see how God, in his wisdom, people talk all the time about, like, I can't believe in a God who would allow bad things to happen. Additionally, I can't believe in a God who allowed bad things to happen to good people.
Right.
But isn't it more beautiful to think that God allowed free will because he wants us to choose him? He wants us to love him. There has to be free will in order for there to be a relationship. Otherwise, I'm just an automaton that's been pre-programmed.
Right.
But in doing so, the world is opened up to evil. It's opened up to sin. It's opened up to disobedience. However, our God in his goodness and in his perfect care and perfect will for us takes that bad and works good through it.
Right.
That's a much more beautiful truth than God has made a perfect plastic world that I get to play in. That to me is just, it's such a comfort to know that even in the bad that I experience, even in the pain that I experience, God has a better purpose. God has a better plan.
Yeah, we tend to think that God is the originator of that pain because he's the one allowing it. Like if he's got that, and that's how something that gets people hung up so much is that if he has the power to stop it, he's morally obligated to do so. But what if that badness, or what if that pain is going to cause something good in your life?
Could it be there's a greater purpose,
right?
A greater good to be achieved by going through that?
Isn't he now morally obligated to allow it? You know what I mean? If it's better for you that you go through this, even though it's painful, then isn't he morally obligated to let you go through it, to allow it? And I think that's, we talked about that with Job. Look how much better the world, Western culture, Western society, Christianity is because of the book of Job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So going back to James for a moment, James begins his epistle by telling us that trials are inevitable, trials are unpredictable, and trials are variable. But if you hang in there, let patience have its perfect work so that you may be perfect, complete, lacking nothing, that you will be fully developed. Okay, I get it. What do I do in the meantime? Well, verse 5 tells us, it says, if any of you lacks wisdom. I mean, that's what Job needed. And he had some counselors come to him trying to bring him wisdom, but they brought all the wrong wisdom.
Right.
It was the best that the Mesopotamians could offer. It was the best that the Egyptians could offer, but it still fell short of what Job needed and also what you and I need when we go through trials.
Yeah.
I guess that's what James says. If any of you lacks wisdom, don't ask your friends.
Don't ask your three closest friends.
Yeah, don't do that.
Let him ask of God.
Yeah.
Now, there's a big difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge comes from information. Knowledge is something you can find in TV, magazines, college education. Wisdom, Warren Wiersbe said it this way: someone has said that knowledge is the ability to take things apart, while wisdom is the ability to put them back together.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes from education, as I mentioned, schools, colleges, and all of that. Information, education, and even experience will fail. Wisdom will never be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
In time, knowledge gets updated. Wisdom doesn't. Knowledge comes from experience, the hard knocks of life, right? There might be some wisdom through life's experiences, but it's still not wisdom.
Right.
Okay, knowledge through life experiences, but still not wisdom, because life is unpredictable. And someone said experience is the best teacher, but the tuition is high.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, you think about all the ways that life can knock you down, and we do say that it teaches us a lot of those things, but at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that it's wise.
Right.
Life can teach me not to trust people. I don't know that that's
That
wise.
doesn't mean it's wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wisdom, on the other hand, is the insight into our human circumstances and situations that enables us to make the right decisions. Knowledge comes from success, how to climb the ladder. If success was wisdom, then the actors and the actresses in Hollywood should be the wisest people in the world.
A great point.
But unfortunately, if you can
We know
see,
that's
they
not
can
the case.
just because you can play a wonderful husband on TV or in a movie does not mean you are one in real life.
That's
Most
right.
of them, after 20, 30 years of marriage, they walk away, and you go, "Wow,
What happened?"
Really?" Wisdom, on the other hand, is what you need when you are tired of the self-help books. Whether it's about raising children or changing bad habits, wisdom is what you need when you cannot throw money at your problems.
That's a great point.
Wisdom, talking about marital problems or whatever it is, no amount of money will save that. Wisdom is what you need when the road of experience runs out. Yeah, and conflicts, like with people in your life. I don't know. I don't know what to do here. I haven't been down this road. What is the wise thing to do?
Yeah.
People ask me that question. I've asked people that question. What is the right thing to do? And people with wisdom can help guide you. So hopefully we can keep James and Job side by side, or
let's
Job
do it.
and James
I love
side
it.
by side, because I think we're going to learn a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Holding both of them. I mean, you need both. You need the example of Job and walking through those trials, but you need James's reminder that there's a purpose in those trials.
You do
there's a development to be had in the midst of that suffering.
Yeah, you do kind of see them as two sides of the same coin, where Job is the show and James is the tell, and you need both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Guys, make sure you join us next time. We're going to dig further into this conversation. Thanks again to our sponsors for making today's episode possible. And if today was your first time listening to us, we just want to say, hey, we love you. We're glad you joined the conversation. We hope that you come back and join us next week for lots of great content coming your way from the Clearview Today show. Remember that you can always reach us at 252-582-5028. We'd love to pray for you, and we'd love to hear for what you're getting from these episodes and how you're applying it to your life and in your context. And you can always support us financially at abidanshah.com/give.
We are very grateful for all of our partners in this ministry, especially our financial partners. We want to say thank you for giving, thank you for supporting, and want to show you how much it means to us. So if you give today, if you make a decision to give today, it might be a one-time gift, it might be a recurring donation, let us know. You can text that number that Ryan just said, 252-582-5028. We're going to send you a little gift to say thank you.
That's right. Couple reminders coming your way. Clearview Today is going to be available on TBN Plus
Yeah, very excited
soon.
about that.
Very excited to join that platform. So make sure you tell your friends who are already on there and those who are on the fence to go ahead and hop on the TBN Plus platform as well.
And you're about to start seeing some social media posts about that. Make sure you share them.
That's right. Cafe Sessions Volume 1 is available now. It is available on Spotify. Make sure that you go and subscribe to that, add it to your library, listen to it as you're driving around, as you're doing your morning routine. It's a great worship set.
That's right.
Acoustic worship, and it's going to get you in the right frame of mind for your day. And the Apologetics Conference here at Clearview Church is coming up on March the 28th. Registration is live now. Head on over to clearviewbc.org for more information. You're not going to want to miss this. Dr. Shaw is going to be speaking, as well as other scholars from around the world, on the importance of textual criticism and how it impacts the English Bible that you and I hold. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow on Clearview Today.